Welcome to Soul and Synergy Radio. Soul and Synergy Radio is dedicated to exploring the mysteries of the universe and our place in it. Your hosts, Terry and Danny, are the owners of Soul and Synergy LLC, based in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Each week, they will be delving into topics that are part of the metaphysical and paranormal world, along with spiritual practices that help us connect with our higher selves and tap into the energy of the cosmos. The show will feature interviews with members of the metaphysical and paranormal community, sharing their knowledge and insights with their listeners. Whether you're new to this world or an experienced seeker, Soul and Synergy has something for everyone. Now, your hosts, Terry Flick and Danny Loosemore.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning.
Happy Friday.
Woo-hoo.
Welcome to Soul and Synergy Radio here on WLTK-DB Talk Radio.
Yay.
What an interesting week it's been.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, definitely. And last night was just amazing. For those of you who are in the Wisconsin, Michigan, northern Minnesota area, you would have seen the wonderful Northern Lights.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, just amazing.
2:00 this morning.
Yeah, they were just vibrating in the sky, and it's just really been kind of a rarity to see it this far south.
Yeah.
And I guess there's lots of the sun activity or whatever causes those things.
Well, they say, I mean, I've never seen them, but they say that we've been able to see them here before. But I don't think I knew what I was looking for, because we couldn't see the colors until we used the camera. Right. And then we could see the colors coming through.
Yeah, we figured out you have to use the camera to see the colors. You can see the gray kind of mist in the sky, but after you use the camera,
it was like the colors were shooting behind the mist, but and the mist would go up in the air or go across the sky or whatever the case may be, and then when we did the video on it, it was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So lots of fun stuff going on here at the store. We have some upcoming fairs going on.
We should put a shout out to Ashland.
Yes,
Thank
Ashland.
you, Yep.
Thank you so much. That was a wonderful show.
Yeah, they're awesome up there, and we'll be back there in September. So
yeah, definitely. And Terry has got a new place up in Rice Lake that he's going to be working at on what day? Thursdays?
Thursdays, I'll be in Rice Lake now doing healings and whatever, readings and stuff. So let's just add one more saucer to the stack.
I know. And the business name is?
Oh, yeah, Shape and Sense, which is located within the Shred Shed. So it is a fitness and wellness center. So
in Rice Lake. There's an open house today. From 2 to
5, if anybody's out and about, stop on over.
Stop up in Rice Lake and see Terry at the open house.
Angela will be there with me.
So, we started advertising our shows in Minnesota, and that's already getting a lot of buzz on the internet ads.
Yeah, we've got local vendors signing up from Minnesota, and very nice. It's very receptive.
Yeah, and it's just amazing how everything just seems to be growing.
And growing.
The
more you allow.
Yes, the more you allow.
The more they give you.
And I've been reading a lot on the net and whatnot, and even experiencing it ourselves, that, the energy shifts are just happening like one right after the other. There's more stuff coming at us all the time, and it's really... there's all the comments. Oh
wow! I forgot to switch over to the comment section. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, but really kind of shifting in a way that's kind of moving us towards something, and I have no idea what it is.
I don't either. I know our space where we're here right now is way too small for what we want to do. We're gonna get our store online. We're in the middle of that right now, getting that going. So I truly have no clue. I mean, I've been in the talking with Jody and stuff, looking at RVs or
mobile Reiki units.
Mobile Reiki, yeah. I don't know, take it on the road, because we can do the radio show on the road. We can, do whatever on the road.
So many options.
Yeah, but store has to get set first.
Yeah. So hello, Lee and Shell and Craig and Stephanie and Salone. And Diana. Yeah, welcome to the show today. So today we have a couple of guests coming on at the bottom of the hour at 10:30. We have Reiki Magick coming online onto the show to talk about their business and what they're up to lately. And then because we've been talking a lot about Reiki and metaphysical and crystals and all that fun stuff, we are going to dive into the paranormal, and our producer Todd is going to be joining us at 11 to talk about himself and the paranormal and kind of getting that worked into the show.
Yeah, and then, there's going to be a giveaway.
Oh, yes, there's going to be a giveaway through the show. So hopefully everybody can stay on the live show so that you have an opportunity to get our free gift for today.
Lee says Ghostbuster type old ambulance for the Reiki unit.
Yeah.
Well, that would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be.
Or a hearse. I mean, that would.
Not a hearse.
Well, I was just thinking, never mind.
Yeah. And then at 11:30, Patty Q will be joining us in the studio while Terry heads up to the open house in Rice Lake and helps us end the show with what's going on in the spiritual world and answering some of your questions.
Yeah. Yeah. So it ought to be a really high vibrating day.
Yeah, very high vibrating day.
Yeah.
You had a class recently, I think it was this week, Energy 101?
Energy 101. You want to talk about Energy 101?
Yes.
Oh, all right. So if everybody hasn't figured this out yet, we come into this with nothing. And when we sit down, things just happen. We let spirit drive our days and stuff. So we don't ever, except for what Danny does for setting up guests, we don't do anything else for preparation, so to speak. So Energy 101 is a class I do. I don't know. I kind of like the 101s, 202s, whatever it's for labeling classes, but it's all about learning how to feel energy of different things. Feeling the energy inside the body, feeling the energy in the room. I manipulate the energy. I manage the energy. I can make it heavy. I can make it light. I can clear it out. And then we use different objects to feel the energy, and learning how to feel, where the stone, if we're working with stones, where they go and what they do and all that good stuff. But yeah, it was an amazing class. We had, what did I say? We had 7 here that night, and everybody walked out feeling good. And whether you're a novice, like you've been playing in this field for a while, or brand new, it is awesome. It's an awesome class. We had two people that had never, they're just and they were so amazed at what they could feel and what they could get and stuff. And it's kind of that, I don't want to say prerequisite, but it's kind of that learning how to feel energy is a big deal, especially if you want to go into mediumship or doing psychic stuff or whatever, because you have to feel the energy of the entities coming in that you're working with. So, and that's why we always say, and let me go back, because that's why we always say Reiki's good, because it heightens the senses, it heightens the energy, so it's easier for you to feel it. Because the 5 that were Reiki attuned that were here that night, 2 of them were my students, but the other 3, but they got it quicker. They could pick it up, they could bring it in, teaching them how to manipulate the energy a little bit, because we do Reiki, but we also kind of do other stuff. So.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's really good. So good morning, Kevin
and Courtney. Alicia and Courtney.
Yeah,
welcome to the show. And we have Robin up there as well that kind of snuck in.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
All right. And we have a divination lab. It's one of our workshops here at the store. Our last one this month was very well attended, and that's where we work with various divination tools, and we have a pile of them in the middle of the table, and people bring in their divination tools that are just gathering dust on their shelves, like the pendulums they bought last year but never touched, or the tarot cards that really look pretty but they never really opened up. And what's great about Divination Lab is that each individual gets to use their divination tool for the whole crowd. So doing getting messages for all of the members of the Divination Lab for that evening, and it really works well to practice that craft in order to get the messages out that Spirit is trying to send. So we weren't able to do a tarot share this month because of the snowstorm.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Yeah. The snow has kind of been a little bit heavy this year for sure.
And weird.
Yeah.
And weird.
Yeah. But the weather in general is just weird.
Here, let's talk about weather witching.
Oh, weather witching.
Oh, yeah. I love weather witching. So about 5 days before Ashland, the thing came out about the big storm that's supposed to be hitting up there, and up to 18 inches of snow.
People are messaging, are we still going to be there?
Yeah. Vendors were canceled, or we're like, sure, we're not coming. I'm like, yeah, let's just play it by ear because there's changes happening. And so me and Christina and Danny and whoever else we could pull in, we just kept pushing positive vibes up there. I think there's like 4 or 5 of us that were playing this game and clearing out, seeing the weather being gone, not seeing 18 inches of snow and stuff. So it did snow. I did have ice and stuff up there for a little bit. But we got a total from Thursday to Saturday afternoon of 8 inches of very light, misty type snow, never really accumulated to hurt anything. The plows were easily took care of it all. And Saturday was amazing.
Yeah, it was blue sky and sun.
Yeah. And when we left on Sunday, it was going to 35 degrees.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So it was amazing to kind of see how, wait 5 minutes, it'll change kind of a thing. It was really great to see such wonderful weather for the participants of the fair.
Stephanie, I don't think I can make the snow melt faster for you.
No.
You must have like feet of snow up there.
Yeah, definitely. And Lee says, more accurate than the weather bunnies on TV.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cute. Yeah. So what else do we want to talk about this morning?
Well, particularly in Ashland, you had a really great experience with one of the customers or one of the guests or whatever you want to call them, and a really kind of great experience in healing with that little one.
A 7-month-old.
Yeah. Where a bunch of you got together and helped out.
Yeah, so we do this. I don't know what it is about Ashland, and like I was telling Danny on the way home, I said I could live up here because there's so much. It's so good, and maybe it's like Superior. I don't know what it is, but so we did this last September when we were up there, and we did a group healing, so to speak, in the middle of the venue, in the middle of the event. It's still going on. People are walking around us. But we did a group healing on this lady, and I was really hoping to see her, but hopefully next time we're up there. But this time, a mother came in and with a 7-month-old baby, and Ellie, dear sweet Ellie, was doing clearings and stuff, and I'm not exactly sure all the stuff that she was doing. And then Stephanie went to stand over there, and I'm working with customers, and all I heard was, "We need Terry," and like. She wasn't yelling at me or nothing. I just picked up on it. And I looked up and she's, come here. So I walk over, and this 7-month-old dear little girl, she had an attachment on her that was just horrible. And it took me and Stephanie and Jody to get that off her. And she was throwing up. She wasn't sleeping. She had all these things going on with her. And so here we are channeling the white light and bringing God through, or Jesus through, and doing these healings and stuff. And so again, it is me and Stephanie and Jody working on this young girl and doing what we were. There's a whole lot much more to this, but I'll just make it simple. So then, what day was that? Monday?
Yeah, Monday.
Monday, I got a message from Mom saying that, or was it Sunday morning?
Either way,
saying that baby is doing awesome. She's sleeping. She's not throwing up anymore. Yeah. So it is a miracle.
Yeah. Not fussing, just
back to her happy self again.
Delightful little self. And that just goes to show that there is something to this.
Oh, there is so much to this. And, it is, I'm so befuddled every day by, well, there's a word I don't use. Befuddled. Yeah. But it wasn't a past life, Lee. It was an attachment from a place that she had visited another family member. But, and these are the things, you wake up every morning going, all right,
what's going to happen today?
Yep. And use me as you need to use me. And I just go with it because I can't not. So,
yeah, I know Spirit brings people to us because they know what we're good at. The different kinds of messages that we do, the healings that you do, the readings that I do, and even for all the others, like the vendors and whatnot, everybody gets the people that need them.
Yeah. And, we talked, Jody, for those of you who watched when she was on with us, we talked a lot about speaking in tongue or light language. It's the same thing, however you want to talk about it. But as that comes through me now, and that started happening, about 6 months ago or so? Yeah. The energies get stronger when I start chanting, and it is just crazy. Like I start vibrating. I need to put stuff on my ankles because I feel like I'm floating or starting to lift, and it's just amazing. Just amazing.
Yeah, when that energy takes you over, it's kind of hard to stay grounded.
Yeah, and you can see I get emotional when I talk about it. So
yeah, it's definitely a gift. But we had something interesting happen at our place. The Friday before Ashland. The orb.
Can I show that?
If you can get it.
They do cards. I should be able to show the picture.
Yeah. So I again, something very interesting. I was pulling into my driveway this week, and someone was right on my tail and pulled into the driveway with me. And I was like, is this the mailman or something? I don't know. But I got out of the car, and this lady that lives just down the road from us said, something weird happened at your place on Friday. Where were you? And I said, well, we were in Ashland preparing for a show. And I didn't know who this person was. It was the first time meeting her. And she said, well, something really strange happened on your property. And she lives down the road from us. And she said that she was going to work in the morning, and there's a way in our area where she could have hit the highway much quicker than going our way. But she saw a green orb traveling. So she followed that orb all the way around towards our house. And then the orb, this green orb, kind of hovered in the field by our house and then disappeared. And I was like, wow, that's really weird. And she was very shaken up by the whole thing, and she didn't know what to think of it. And her mother had told her, maybe it was redirecting you so you didn't get into an accident, or you were safe, or something like that, which I thought was a really neat thing for the mother to say.
Yeah.
But I just said to her, this stuff happens around here all the time. And she kind of looked at me funny. I'm like, yeah, we've had orange ones fly by and all of that as well. And I said, it's just par for the course for where we live.
Yeah. So if you can see this, let's see.
Yeah.
You can see how big that thing is. It wasn't small. This was a huge orb. That's that's about 400 feet off the road.
So, yeah. So she had pulled off the road next to our house and took a picture of it before it disappeared in our field, and she had followed it down the road to our house. So it was just a really strange thing that I had pulled into the driveway just at the right time for her to show up and to show us that orb. But again, that's just
how the universe lined it all up for you to go home, because you went home early. I went Monday.
I went home early that day.
Yeah, you were feeling quite right. You thought you had to go home. So.
Yeah, and
then half an hour later, I got a text message from you. Yeah. That was pretty cool. Yeah, so this lady lives about 2 miles from us. So she followed it quite a bit to get to our place. So, and it ain't like a straight line. I mean, she had to come out a corner, down, take a left, come up, around, down. I mean, it had to manipulate her. It wasn't just like, oh, let's go here.
Yeah.
It had to make her do what they needed her to do.
Yeah, and she said it was just this glowing green orb of light, and or I guess I would interpret that as energy, but just kind of meandering over towards our place and brought her there.
Yeah.
And then we got some really great interpretations of what a green orb is and how it's related to healing spirits and nature spirits and all of that. And we try to make our property as nature friendly as possible with the energy that we put out there. But it just was really quite amazing, and I just didn't expect that.
Oh gosh, no. But like you said, we've had some pretty cool stuff happen out there. It is an old native pathway from when they would, I can't even find words today, when they would go from,
it was a trail
from when they, in the winter time, or when it got to fall, when they go from up north down south to winter. And so occasionally we see the chief on his horse up on the bank watching in the spring and the fall as people go back and forth and stuff. You've had them walk through our house while you're in the bathroom.
Yes.
Things like that.
Yeah.
So we're pretty active out there, which is is what it is.
They really don't care about what state you're in when they walk through.
No.
There's no modesty or anything like that at all. They just kind of walk in whenever they feel like it. And it's just
they work on their time, not ours. So but very cool.
It was very, very cool.
And I love it. I love it all. I even when Arthur gets in his little pissy moods at the house, it irritates me at times, but all in all, it's just like, I like that connection. I like the connection with the other side. So
yeah, and it's can be very informative and all that at the same time.
Yeah.
But one of the things that was kind of neat is off the top of my head, I thought, well, we have an Alexa at home, and we actually use the setting to call it Ziggy, so we don't call it Alexa, we call it Ziggy.
Right.
And we said, I just off the top of my head, I said, Ziggy, are there any ghosts in the room? I don't know why I said it, and it said turning on ghost detector. It has a ghost detector.
It has a ghost
detector. And at that time it said there's no ghosts in the room. So,
although there were last night, I was playing with it.
Yeah, so last night we were doing ghost detecting on that little machine, and it was telling us all the stuff that was in the room, and it was one of those functions that I didn't even know existed with Alexa or Ziggy.
Or Ziggy,
yeah. And having it kind of do a ghost detection kind of a thing.
Yeah, and it gives you points when we find them.
Yeah, it gives you points when you find them. I don't know what those points are good for.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah.
It is definitely an interesting thing. So, Steph.
Yeah.
So, if you have an Alexa, Stephanie, just say, Alexa, are there any ghosts around? And it will it'll ask you to activate the ghost detector software, and it will do its thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Your house. I would really love to see what you pull up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently they're levels 1 to 5, and 5 being the worst ghost that can be. So ours are usually 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and associated with colors as well. So these little things that you find is really quite interesting.
Yeah. Technology. It's a fun toy.
Yeah, and Craig said, I wonder how many Alexas just went off. Well, right. Craig, you can test it out in the store and ask it and see what it says. Because we have an Alexa in the store too. So
we have Alexa, Echo, and technology.
Yeah, I just really wish that we would be able to have a cat out there, because I would love to see the cat and how it reacts to the stuff going on in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that would be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. But there's lots of animals around there anyway. But barn cats and bunnies and coyotes.
Coyotes. Oh, were they howling last night? Yeah.
Yeah. The Northern Lights must have got them going, or something to that effect.
Yeah. No, and they do. I mean, I was standing outside. Oh, I was talking to somebody on the phone and went outside, and it was like 10 o'clock at night. Well, it was last full moon, because I looked out into the field and I seen 2 of them scurrying out of our backyard out into the field. So they must have been on the rabbit hunt. Mm-hmm. So no howling, so they didn't get their food. So yay. least they didn't get our bunnies.
Well, the other thing I wanted to talk about before the bottom of the hour when our guests show up is when we were talking earlier about energy and all of that. It's a lot about shadow work, and I keep talking about that on our shows, but it really, really is. It's those reminders of things that are in the back of your head that you don't like looking at, that you might be shameful of or fearful of or have regret. And it's really trying to work it out so that you no longer have any emotional attachment to any of those thoughts or any of those feelings or any of those situations that you put yourself in. So I think it's going to be a big thing to get us to the next level where we're not trapped in those lower vibrating emotions anymore of being afraid of things or being sad or any of those things with the memories that we carry in our minds, and that we reconcile them and really kind of put them to rest and at peace. And I know that a lot of people are going through that, and I think probably some of you in the audience are getting constantly reminded of things that you don't want to think about, and that's just the energy process of trying to eliminate that energy from your being, your system, whatever you want to call it, and getting you ready for the next level up.
Well, and people that are doing the shadow work, it isn't like that will never go away. It's just dealing with the trauma, the event, the whatever, it keeps bringing it back up. And then when it does come back, you go, oh, yep, we did that. Goodbye.
Yeah, we did that.
And get rid of it. It's like, so, I've had clients that say, I worked so hard on that, but I still talk about it. Or still comes up in my mind. But so there's still triggers. I'm like, yeah, but how do you react to it?
Yeah, it's your reaction to that trigger that matters.
Yeah.
Is it just recognizing, oh yeah, that's right, and then moving on, or are you holding on to the thought and trying to deal with it in your mind, or making excuses for why something happened in your mind to make it go away, or did you just look at it and go, okay,
yeah,
what's done is done, move on?
Yeah, right, yeah,
yeah.
And that's how I like to do it. Yeah, Stephanie, look at that. Okay, I turned it on and she said it was going crazy. Oh, and it was going crazy and there were several ghosts. I turned it off.
And Lee said Alexa detected 1 level 2 joyful ghosts.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So welcome to a new function you never knew you had.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Education.
Yeah, education. Yeah, that's the educational segment of the show.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So one of the things I do have going on is the Tarot Masterclass right now. And we offer it on Zoom. And if you're interested, you can still sign up, and we've already went through week 1, but I could catch you up in that way, so that the Masterclass really kind of goes over the meaning of all the cards and gives you hints on how to do the readings and whatnot. We go through spreads and how to approach doing readings for other people, and actually preparing you to put up your own shingle for your own business, doing tarot reading and whatnot. And there's laboratory practicums where we bring in strangers to read for. It's just a very involved kind of process. And now we're offering it on Zoom, so that if anybody's interested, you can go on our website and register for the Zoom class for the Tarot Masterclass. And at the end, you get a nice certificate that says you are now a Tarot Master.
Yeah.
From Soul and Synergy. So,
yeah,
and what's really great is that we have, from the last Masterclass, I think over half of them now are readers and in their own businesses and even vendors now at our shows and travel with us. So it's a really worthwhile class to go through, because it really prepares you for the professional aspect of tarot card reading.
Yeah, and even doing Reiki, we've got Reiki masters that are out there that do our shows and stuff that I've taught, and some of my students, and they do other shows or whatever.
There's nothing more satisfying or more fulfilling than having worked with someone and seeing them prosper from the things that you taught them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. But Lee says, learned something new today.
Wish I lived closer.
Yeah.
That's why, it's for people like Lee and Steph and those, the guys that are so far away. That's why we went to doing things on Zoom, so you guys can participate.
Yeah. It's I did my first Zoom beginner's tarot class, and it went quite well. Working out how to do the PowerPoints and all that. Right. With the Zoom class, and having someone in the classroom and people on Zoom, and how do you get them to interact and all of that. And it's a little bit of a learning curve, but it works well.
Yeah, Zoom is easy to manage.
Yeah, Craig already does Zoom classes for Starseed 101.
Yeah.
And he has people in the room plus on Zoom. And again, if you're interested in any of these classes, please sign up for them, because they're very informative, and you get to kind of move on to the next level. And
yeah, so if you go on, going to come to the Onalaska event.
Oh, thank you, Lee.
Hey. So when you go online to buy your class, then there's a comment section on the buying saying going to do Zoom or online classes, and then we'll send you the link for it each week.
Yeah. And then for those in the area that want to have a classroom experience, they can come there.
Yeah, works out.
All right. Well, we are at the bottom of the hour. It's 10:30. We're going to take a little break, and then we're going to bring on Reiki Magick onto the show. So we'll see you in a couple minutes.
Want to see your video here? Sponsor WLTK-DB Talk Radio and watch us make that happen. With your paid sponsorship of $80, you receive a professional produced audio, video, and banner placement on our station. Not only does your sponsorship air during our live shows, but also replayed on our podcast and heard by hundreds of like-minded people. Visit WLTK-DB.com to get started and find out just how hard we work to get you noticed.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Soul and Synergy Radio. Here at Soul and Synergy on WLTK-DB Talk Radio. Yay! Before we bring our guests out, I just want to put a shout out to Mary Spindler, who is trying her best to comment on our show. We just recognize that you're here and say hello. Yeah. And thank you for coming on to the show. Yeah. All right. So our next guests are Adam and Sheree, and from Reiki Magick. So let's bring them out. Hello.
Hi, guys. You're going to have to talk louder because we can hardly hear you, but we're live from GaryCon.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
And we happen to be right next to the autograph booth, so.
Okay. That's great.
Are you guys still there? We hear?
Yep, we're here.
Yeah, you'll get a little lapse with that every once in a while. So.
Yeah. So we wanted to bring you on the show.
We can't hear you. You have to talk louder.
I don't know if we can talk louder.
Yes, you can.
We just wanted to bring you on the show to talk about Reiki Magick and dice mugs and talk about yourselves. So can you talk to us about how you got into this world?
Yep, I'm going to let Adam start. I'll start. Let me tell you first, here's what happened. So I'm going to say probably about 10 years ago, I started with... went to be a Reiki practitioner, and that's how Reiki Magick started. But then we realized going to Renaissance festivals and everything else, just doing Reiki doesn't cut it. So then Adam started doing, my sister turned us on to Organite, which are these awesome things. And Organites are basically similar to Himalayan salt lamps. And so they bring in positive energy into your room, only you don't have to turn these on. Then one day, Adam's sister said, and this is where Adam's going to take over.
She had a old pewter glass bottom mug that was leaking a little bit, and she had asked me, because she knew I was doing resin work, and she asked me if I could put a little bit of resin in the bottom to get it to stop leaking. Mm-hmm. Well, I took one look at the glass bottom of that mug and looked at one of the Organites. I'm like, wouldn't you rather have one of these in the bottom of the mug? And so that was kind of the start of the Organite mugs, which we started out with just static bottoms with different stones around the outside and the Organite built into the bottom of the mug.
Here's how they start out.
Yep. Okay. So glass bottom, nice big cavity here to put all the resin work, and so the glass keeps the resin away from your drink, so you don't have to worry about anything toxic or problematic leaking into that drink. Mm-hmm. And then a few more years down the road, we've been doing a lot of Renaissance festivals. We do gaming conventions, things like that, and paranormal conventions. Yes, and we're both gamers, so we started getting questions about putting dice in the bottom of the mug, and it kind of got my wheels turning. I was thinking, well, I could put dice in there and have them static, and they would look pretty cool, but I was thinking, wouldn't it be a lot cooler to actually have a rollable set of dice in the bottom? So it took a little bit of innovation and trial and error, but I finally got to the point of being able to have a fully randomizable full D20 set in the bottom of the mug, where you can see on both sides of it, still having the Organite around the outside, still having the stones around the outside to give it that extra energy, not only in your drink but also in your rolls.
Nice. Positive drinking, no matter what you're drinking.
Exactly.
Nice.
That's wonderful. So why don't you give us a hint on how you two met? You know, how did you two get together?
How do we work together?
How did you meet each other? How did you? What's your meeting story?
Oh,
how we met each other?
How we met each other?
Oh, okay. Okay, many years ago, I started gaming when I was about 30, and after a couple of divorces, I was thinking, who in the hell am I ever going to meet that would be a gamer like I was? Because being a female gamer, it's a big deal, and because there's not very many females in the gaming industry. And the one nice thing, a really quick note here, is we're at GaryCon. This is all about D&D, and that's what I started with, and that's what these dice is all about. So I had a friend that I knew from Old World Renaissance Festival, and he said, hey, we're having a Halloween party. Why don't you come on over? So I was dressed like a fairy with big old honking wings, and Adam was dressed as?
I was dressed as Major Blood, who is a G.I. Joe character.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I had a big long wig on. My hair is down to my butt and all that stuff. It was a lot of fun. And that was in 2006.
Okay.
Then 6 years later, because I was a little gun shy about getting married after being married and divorced 3 times.
Yes.
So I was a little gun shy.
I gave her enough time.
Yeah. It was when his mom started dropping hints that we decided we should probably tie the knot. And so 2006, we got married in 2012 and been together ever since. And we work really well as a team. When you find that other person, like you guys know, you work well together. I love being in the company of, I'm going to cry now. I love being in the company of my husband. I love working together with him. Like, we're together 24/7. And yet I still look forward to going on vacations with him. Like getting out and cutting loose and all the other stuff. So that's how we met.
Yeah.
On my favorite holiday.
All right. So Sheree, tell us a little bit more about Reiki Magick. What do you do with Reiki Magick?
So Reiki Magick has gone from doing just Reiki to Reiki and readings now. I used to do a lot of witchy stuff like candles and altar kits and that sort of thing. And that just the spirit told me that no, that is not what you're supposed to be doing. And so I've gone full realm back to being the spiritual leader, the healer, and the witch that I want to be, basically, is what it is. And I'm very excited that I have a passion for Ren fairs. And so taking my psychic abilities and I thank Diet and I thank Terry, thank you guys too for this. I am now able to do galleries for Renaissance festivals, and I'm very excited. I'm excited about Omaha, and Omaha, Nebraska will be the first show that I'm going to be doing gallery readings at. I'm going to be doing one show a day. Hang on, Adam's going to do a cell while I talk. This is how it happens when we're doing things live. And then I know I should just walk around. And then I'm going to Newborn. And Newborn, I don't guess it need to be that close. And Newborn is 4 weeks, and I'm doing a gallery, one show for the next 4 weeks. So I'm doing a total of 12 different galleries from May to June. Oh my God, guys, I'm just like,
You're forgetting.
I'm crazy.
What?
It is a new beginning.
So you're forgetting the major one that we are going to do in Minnesota.
Yeah, you're doing one together in Minnesota.
So what happened? I have to tell you real quick. So on December 31st, when Adam was driving out to get our RV, it's craziness. I had said to myself, I'm done. I need to focus on me. I need to focus on my magic. I need to work on my rituals. I need to work on the Sabbats and all this stuff. And ever since I made that decision, everything has been really, really good. I mean, manifestations are flipping amazing. Like when I think of something, it's coming through. I am so blessed right now. That's all I can say. Just blessed. I'm happy. I'm teaching Reiki again. I'm doing all the things that I want to do. And Adam doesn't know this yet. He's really busy with a customer. If the show does as well as I think it's gonna, I may not be working for you much longer.
Oh, wow. Nice. Very nice. It's always good to kind of grow into what you love.
Yeah. And I'm totally loving it. And I get total support from people at work. Even the University of Minnesota has been so good about the support that I get and things like that. I'm going to actually turn my camera around and maybe walk a little bit so I can show you where we're at and what we're doing. Are you guys okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. So this is our booth, our inside of our booth. And this is kind of like where we're at. Is right here. And all the different vendors. And this is the photo. This is the autograph booth. Oh, let me not walk in front of it. So you can see who's that. So I'm going to have Adam explain who, I can't even pronounce his last name right. I think it's Gygax. And so Gary Gygax is one of the persons that designed Dungeons and Dragons. And so it's a really big deal here. We're here and actually showing off our dice. So some of our vendors that we have going on here. All of the sneaky gamers that are here. So this is where we're at, and it's very high energy from last time. Yesterday we were just exhausted, and that was only the first day. Mm-hmm. And so today it's like, holy smokes, it's kind of crazy. And so, look, Gygax.
Gygax. Yes.
So Adam can explain the Gygax better.
Okay. So right now we are sitting next to Luke Gygax, who is the son of Gary Gygax, who is co-creator of Dungeons and Dragons.
Wow.
He's the one that puts on this show. It's kind of an homage to his father.
That's how it started.
It basically started. They did a kind of a gathering at one of the local Foreign Legions just before Gary died. it was kind of his last hurrah around his gaming companions. So Luke has been keeping this going. This is the 15th year of GaryCon.
Wow.
So we're very, very blessed to be here and kind of showing off our wares and getting to meet a lot more of the gaming community.
Okay. So,
wait a second.
Oh,
Adam, are you on your phone or Sherry's phone?
I'm on my phone.
Okay.
Sherry's phone is currently the point of sale system.
Okay.
Awesome.
I was gonna send her a text because we have lots of comments, but I thought.
Yeah, you can send text to my phone and I'll get them.
Okay.
Send text.
We have one of our audience members. His name is Tim. He just ordered his mug. He just went online and ordered a mug.
Oh, awesome.
What was it?
Tim
Bear?
Yeah.
You mean Tim Bear?
Tim Bear, yep.
Yep.
Yes, Tim, I'll call you later and we will chat. Tim was my best bud, one of my best buds. We met on the radio show when Stephanie was doing a co-host for Diet, and Tim connected with me then. And then we just started chatting. He's like an old brother to me. I mean, I've known him forever, even though we just met.
Nice.
This is what happens when we get on radio shows and people like talk to us. Just like how long have I known you guys? I feel like I've known you forever.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys hang out at Renaissance fairs. What are your characters? What do you dress up as?
I normally come in as either like a bar wench, or this year I'm probably going to be more of a witch, healer, seer, mystic person type thing. Next time you're at the house, I'll have to show you the whole closet of clothes that we have, which is really nice. It started out as a passion, but now that it's a business, guess what? We get to write them off. So anyway.
Yeah.
So we have lots of it.
And I have to say, my favorite of her costumes is her green, full-length green leather, which is paired with a cavalier hat. That was one of the first costumes that I ever saw her in. And usually what I am dressed up, I usually have a kilt and kind of puffy sleeve shirt. I don't really have a character or anything like that, but just your basic Scotsman.
Yeah. So what got you interested in Renaissance fairs? I mean, where does that come from? Where did your interest in Ren fairs come from?
Well, truthfully, I didn't really get into Renaissance festivals until Sherry started, and Sherry's off doing a sale right now, so I'll speak for her. She actually, I'm back.
Yeah.
She actually started out at the Minnesota Renaissance Festival, and she was out assisting at the jousting track. And that really got her passion going for the Renaissance Festival. And then she helped bring a small Renaissance festival. I think we mentioned it before, Old World Renaissance Festival, which was up in Twig, Minnesota. She kind of helped bring that outdoors and turn into a very nice small festival. Unfortunately, that festival's last year was 2008. Just the economic crisis and the recession really took a hit for them, and they were able to make ends meet, and they were able to pay off their bills, but they didn't have enough to be able to continue. So that kind of closed up at that point. It was such a beautiful fair, though. And then it was after that we started doing Reiki Magick and going to the different shows and started vending in those areas.
Okay. Are there other products that Reiki Magick sells aside from doing Reiki and all of that? Are there other things?
Yeah. So Sheree does. Sheree makes house cleansing kits, which is a kit designed for cleansing negative energy out of the home. It includes some powders. I don't know exactly what's in there, but I'll do the best that I can. Yeah. It contains some powders that you would spread around your home and vacuum up to try and get that negative energy out of the home. Comes with our smudging sprays, which is we have a bunch of smudging sprays that have different essential oils that are mixed together by Sheree. They're our own blends and put into a spray bottle with some distilled water. To kind of give it that spray quality that allows you to spray it around your home, on your linens, on yourself. It's all therapeutic grade essential oils, so it's completely safe to put wherever. So we include in that house cleansing kit our sage and our I can't remember the other one. But a couple of house cleansing kits, and we also include some selenite and some black tourmaline to put around your home to keep that, once you get that bad energy out, to keep it out and keep yourself safe. We showed you the organites. We have heart-shaped organites. We have skull organites, which is kind of unique to us. And we also have pocket square organites to bring smaller organites that you can bring with you in your pocket, in your purse, to bring that positive energy wherever you go. And we also sell chakra kits, which have actually 8 different stones, because the heart stone, there's 2 different heart stones that are possible, the amethyst and the rose quartz. So we include both of those in our chakra stone kits. And we also Sheree actually does candles, 100% beeswax candles. She hand pours them, and she colors them with different dyes. The one that we have here at the show is actually shaped into the shape of a D20, and inside this candle there's a random die or full die set. Inside this candle we have instructions on how to get that dice out of there and usable. And the thing that we really like to say is on that D20, the wick is set at the 1 to burn your critical fails away, because if anybody knows Dungeons and Dragons, if you roll a 1, you have critically failed and bad things happen. So puts that intentions out there of, I don't want to fail this.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
For sure. So do you have groups you get together and play games with? Do you do it at your house or go places just for games?
Yeah, so we actually have a group of friends that does a weekly gaming. It's board games, card games, things like that. We do that on Tuesday nights. And then right now, actually, I have my nephew and his girlfriend living with us in kind of our what we call our family room. It's a different area of our property, and they're staying with us because my nephew is going to be going to UMD, but they're extremely into games also. So we're able to play 4-player games whenever they're not working or we're not working. So it's kind of worked out with that too.
Okay, great.
And of course, I've been doing those types of games for a very long time. My whole family is into that stuff. So on holidays, your Thanksgiving and on Christmas weekends, we usually have all of the family playing some sort of game.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, that's very nice, for sure. Do you have any future business ideas that you guys are playing around with that you might be thinking of doing?
Not a whole lot of thought around future businesses. We've pretty much decided that we won't have any sort of storefront or anything like that. It's just with the amount of travel that we do to the different shows, it just doesn't work out for us. Like Sheree had mentioned before, we just bought an RV so that we can, have a moving house when we're off to different shows. We're actually planning on doing the Florida Renaissance Festival next year. It's over February and March, and nothing wrong with going to Florida for February and March in the dead of winter in our neck of the woods. So
yeah. And for those of you in the audience, they live on Lake Superior near Duluth, and it's such a beautiful property, and there's lots of activity on that property for sure. And it's a really interesting place to be. So with Sheree and doing Reiki and working with her craft and all of that, is there anything on the property that has kind of shown itself to you guys or worked with you at all?
Well, yeah. So we do have our property is right on the shore of Lake Superior, and it's been we have an area for fires at night. We have a swing looking out on Lake Superior, but one of the things that Sheree has found over the years, and especially as she has gotten more and more in tune with paranormal and things like that, we kind of have what she calls a ghost hotel on the property. And basically we have a few ghosts that kind of stick around and are there, protecting us, things like that. But we have a lot of wanderers who come through, and she has been helping along with our friend Matt Schultz, has been helping those who are either don't know that they're ghosts kind of move on, or kind of help them understand what's going on and help them with any issues that they're having.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Very nice.
It gets a little interesting sometimes, but all in all, we haven't had too many, very few ghosts that have been angry or anything like that. It's mostly just looking for answers, looking for people that can actually speak with them and kind of tell them what's going on.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're at the top of the hour. The audience can find more information at dicemugs.com or Reiki Magick with a K on the end of magic.com to get a hold of either Adam or Sheree. So thanks again for showing up, and we appreciate you working us in. So have a great time there at Gary Con, and we'll see you soon.
Yep. Thank you very much, Danny and Terry. See you later.
Bye. All right. Really interesting.
Yeah. Well, Sherry's interesting in her own. And so I met Sheree through Renee when we were taking mediumship classes. But no, I'm going to go backwards. So when we started doing events, when we started promoting events, I was a business card hound. I would grab everybody's business cards from everywhere. And we were online. I was looking at things and stuff. And I had messaged her about getting on our vendor list and stuff, and nothing ever really came of it. So we were up in Duluth doing the Para-Unity event.
Yes,
remember
Para-Unity, yep.
And I walked around, and Sheree and Adam were there doing their mugs and Reiki, and Tara Knutson was with them as well. And I stopped and I talked to her for a little bit, and she looks me dead in the eyes. She goes, "I am sorry, I just haven't got back to you." I'm like, wow, you caught who I even am. I didn't even, I was like looking at their mugs actually, and I bought one. But so then me and Sheree and Diet and we got together for classes, Jody, and that's how our friendship really kindled and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, amazing lady. So what I was trying to get her to say was, because she forgot one of her galleries. So in Brainerd, Jody, not Jody, but me and Sheree will be doing a gallery together. We're going to do that Saturday night because Brainerd's a 2-day show. So we're going to do our gallery Saturday night in between. So
all right.
Yeah, that ought to be interesting.
Yeah. Well, we're around 11 o'clock, so why don't we take a little break? And then we will welcome Todd, our producer, to the show to talk more about the paranormal.
Yay!
The Body Code is a revolutionary method of energetic healing developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson, which allows us to quickly and easily identify specific imbalances that seem to underline chronic ill health, acute and chronic pain, and discomfort, dysfunction, and stress. Ellie energetically connects with the subconscious of the client. Psychic medium Ellie Weisensell is a medical intuitive and energy healer and a certified body code practitioner. She identifies and clears energetic imbalances within the body and energy field. Contact Ellie at the website below, and Ellie can work remotely from a distance, by phone, online, video chat. There's no need to travel to an office. Remember, the Body Code is safe for humans and animals. Contact Ellie today.
All right, everyone, welcome back.
So just a really quick update for Lee. Lee commented, "I want an organite sphere for my stick shift." I'm guessing for her car, truck, or whatever. And so, because it was so hard to hear Sheree, I messaged her and she said, absolutely, they do custom work. So reach out to her, and it'll probably take a little bit of time because they're on the road a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
But she will be able to provide that.
Yeah.
All right. So up next, like I said before, we talk a lot about Reiki and metaphysical side of things, but we want to talk about paranormal too. So we would like to welcome to the show the man, the myth, the legend, Todd Bates, our producer.
Yeah.
Morning, guys.
Good morning.
So interesting enough, as Danny's doing this lead into this section, like it just went, whew, like everybody's here. My spine is just doing this number right now.
They must like you.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So who knows?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you do your show, the producer show, and all of that, and you've written an amazing book, which we'll kind of get to up here pretty quick. But just kind of tell the audience a little bit about yourself and how you got into the paranormal.
Sure. Yeah. Well, to make a long story short, things got a little crazy growing up. I was Catholic all through and through. Family was very devout, so we didn't talk about anything paranormal related. I would believe that there were life on other planets and things, but no, didn't talk about ghosts other than the Holy One.
Right.
And
identify.
Kind of grew up that route, and I was skeptical about the whole thing, about just ghosts in general. I mean, really, is there life after death? What is there? Because the Catholic religion kind of screwed me up a lot when it came to that, because I wasn't able to choose for myself, basically. Well, to make a long story shorter, I was invited on a ghost tour and went, and it was at an old general store where there was a robbery and someone was killed there. All of the people in this tour just ran to the general store, started taking pictures. There's flashes everywhere. And I take my little recorder back to a barn and just hang out in this barn by myself. Something just drew me there. I don't know what it was. I just went that way and sat up on top of a log pile and plugged in my microphone to the recorder and asked questions, did my thing. And because the guy I had talked to prior, who had taught me quite a bit, took me under his wing, Jason Snyder, taught me a few tricks on electronic voice phenomenon, or EVP as it's called, ghost voices, disembodied voices. But I had that little recorder. I didn't hear anything that night. I'm like, okay, this was fun. We went to some other locations, some cemeteries and things, and I had a good time. Came back and processed that footage that I got there at the barn, and captured a horse. Of all things, it was the sound of a horse. It was very clear it did that, and then stomps its foot, almost as if it was upset I was there. So I was blown away. I'm like, how in the world did that come through so clear, yet I didn't hear it with my naked ear? The obsession began. I wanted to know why so bad. It wasn't necessarily that I just heard the sound of a disembodied animal, but it was why on earth? So I just began researching all I could. Back then, the internet was kind of scarce with things like that. We had some chat rooms and forums, and I just kind of opened myself up to this new information and what it was, because this was so new. I didn't believe in any of this. Now I'm just completely enthralled and just diving into it with every aspect of my being. Met a few people that really helped me out, answered some questions, and taught me so much. They taught me how to do this properly, how to, do so many things are done a lot differently today than what they used to be. But I was taught old school, and I'll always remain that way, because I haven't figured that way out yet, guys. I'm a little behind. But it's a lot of fun, and that's what led me down the path. Was that one general store launched so much in my life, because it helped me understand that there's more to life afterwards.
Yeah.
The question was answered. I don't know if would you call that a spiritual awakening?
Of sorts, I would assume.
I would think so. Yeah.
I mean,
at least the beginning of the journey.
Yeah.
So speaking of the journey, what has your career path been since that point?
What is my
career path been?
Oh, since that point.
Yeah.
what I used to do this stuff full time. That was my gig. I was paranormal. I went to different locations, that's what I did. My career path now is this beloved station that I love so much. It's what led me into it. A quick story on how all of this even developed. I started taking what I learned from electronic voice phenomenon from all these people and began teaching other people, and called the courses Haunted Voices. And it was hauntedvoices.com where they could go. And it was a chat room. We would all meet. We would all learn, share information. No drama. Oh my God, there was no drama. It was so nice. It was so nice. We were able to share information. Well, it got larger and larger. So I had to figure out a way to reach more people. And that's when I purchased, and back then they had these audio servers. Now they're a dime a dozen. But got one of those and was able to reach more people. More people tuned in. So Haunted Voices Radio was born. Began having guests and fun things like that, talking about not only electronic voice phenomenon, but all things paranormal. I think it's all encompassing. Metaphysical is just as much a part of it as I think it's all intertwined. But that's where the birth went. It went from that little show, which escalated over the years in 2004, to where I just began building upon it. I wanted a place where, a place where people could go and learn about the metaphysical, learn about energy healing, learn about ghosts, learn about crypto, UFOs, you name it, whatever, abductions, a place that's where they're safe. And sure, there's other ones out there. Absolutely. There's a lot of great stations out there. But ours is a station. A lot of the other ones are networks. They carry others, and I wanted something that was small yet mighty, and it's grown a little bit faster than what I've expected it to, but it's a labor of love, this thing.
Yeah, definitely. And Stephanie Lynn says WLTK-DB is a family. And one of the things that from our show, because we had so many of us radio personalities, I guess you would call us now, at the Ashland show, we didn't get a picture.
Yeah, that's
yes. I heard you guys got no pictures, so we can't put anything in the gallery, but that's okay. That leaves room for more.
Yep.
Yeah. But one of the things we have for the audience today that from Todd is a free gift. And something that if some of you, or if someone answers a trivia question first, you will get a free gift. Should we tell them what the gift is first, or do I do the question first? What do I do?
I think I would like to have Todd talk about it, how it became. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But
what do you guys want?
Okay.
Yeah.
You want him to talk about it first?
Yeah. So I'm curious what possessed him to write a book and all that stuff. Yeah.
What possessed me to write a book?
Possessed is the word, right?
Right.
Boy, is it ever. I've always wanted to. And I'd carried around a lot of baggage prior to me getting into the paranormal. What led me to that situation? Excuse me, guys. I'm still getting over this flu thing. But the book is an autobiography about all of the above. My paranormal career. It has some behind the scenes things in there about that. It has my corrections career. I was a correctional officer for 6 years.
Wow.
It has my incarceration career. It has ways my life turned to make me what I am today. And it was a something that I did that I kept from my family, my friends. You know, no one knew I was even writing this book. No one had a clue, or I wouldn't have done it. And I did it to make amends with myself, first and foremost. And it's a way of making amends with those that I had harmed during my dark times, to make amends with them as well, hopefully. So it's one of those types of stories that has some very great points. There's some paranormal talk. There's some EVP talk in there. I'll admit there's some sad times in there. You know, there's some sad parts, but there's some happy parts. There's some good parts. There's the good that came out of the bad. And that is what drives me to this day. Is ever since it was that October of 2021 when that thing was released, I almost didn't do it. I had the whole thing written, ready to go. And I held back. Once again, standing in my own way, which I do that a lot. This time, this time I took a step to the left. And
Good for you.
I let it pass. I let it go through. And I have been so humbled and blessed. And oh my goodness, I'm so grateful for all the support. I never realized that it would connect with so many people like it did, and help so many people like it did. And I've become friends with each and every one of those people. Every book that I sign, I will find you and I will friend you, because if you read that book, you are a friend of mine. Nice. You know more about me than anybody else would. So it's amazing. It's
awesome. It is an energetic release.
Yeah.
Yes. There you go. I love that.
Yeah.
Maybe even cathartic in a way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is, you know, and you did it on a very large scale, which is amazing, but even doing it on a smaller scale is very healing, you know, for the listeners out there, just to, you know, get that stuff out.
Yeah. Journal,
talk to somebody about it. Just get it out. It is healing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Definitely.
That's amazing.
So as a free gift to the audience, we have a book to offer, but you have to answer a trivia question, the haunted voice.
Oh, neat.
The trivia question is, and the first person to type it in the box that we see will get the gift. So the trivia question is, who is the goddess of spring?
Oh,
I seen it pop up. I was like, that was quick.
Yeah, so whoever can answer the question, yes, who the goddess of spring is first, will get the free gift, the haunted voice by Todd Bates. So let's see who ends up in that comment box first.
That was a great question.
If somebody needs to text me, they can.
Oh, and she said Lee Warner.
Yeah.
No, not that Stallone. Sorry, Stallone and Lee.
Oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
But,
this is fun. It'll be a signed copy too, and I'll take care of all the shipping and all that fun stuff. It's nothing to sweat. I just need you to email your address to me. You can contact me through my website, toddmichaelbates.com.
Yeah.
And that's okay, Lee. You can give it away to a friend.
You can give a book away. I mean, that's perfectly fine.
So when we talk about the goddess of spring, what realm are we talking?
General kind of, let's see, would be considered pagan.
Okay. And who holds the energy till she comes back?
Who holds the energy till she comes back?
Yeah,
I do.
Well, yes, he does. But no, Mary, somebody else. But who do we always talk about in the spring before Ostera that works with? Oh, I just blew it. Well, I think we just need a new one anyway.
I don't think anybody heard.
Oh, maybe not. So
no,
you know what I'm talking about now?
Now, Steph said Persephone. Lee said Persephone.
So you know where that comes from.
Yeah, that comes
6 and 6.
But, yeah, 6 and 6.
Well, here, the Green Man.
Yeah,
works together with
this goddess.
With this goddess, yeah.
I love this.
Yeah, Salone.
All right, Salone. Yes, Ostera. Okay.
Lee's still trying.
Yes, Lee's still going. So Salone wins.
Salone wins.
Salone wins.
There you go, Salone. I just put my email in there to make it even easier for you. Congratulations. Well, that was fun. That was tough.
Heck it.
Now we're getting tons of names in there.
Yeah.
Alwyn.
At least there's active participation.
There is.
Yeah.
Craig, what? Hecate? When he hears us talking about this all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially when he was involved in the spring goddess thing earlier this
spring. 2 days ago, Craig. So we do ceremony here occasionally, and we had a ceremony for Ostera. So so question. So Todd, when you go out, I cheated and looked it up on Google. Robin, when you go out doing investigations, so you watch these shows, and here's what draws me back from doing anything is I don't like people screaming at spirits. I don't like antagonizing. So I never really, those are the shows I watched or were brought to my face. So until I really got into this, the metaphysical part of it, and people say, well, have you ever listened to this one, or have you ever listened to that one? So who was it? Dave Schrader, when he did Devil's Perch, I'm in love with that show. I mean, they talk, they use a medium.
Historical.
Yeah, and it's historical. It's like those. So is that like his technique is kind of what you do, or?
It's very similar.
Okay.
That is, Dave does great with what he does, and that show portrays it very well.
Yeah.
It's one of the very few. A lot of people, and it's unfortunate too, because they will spend a lot more money than what they need to really get started in this field. They'll watch one of these shows and see all the zooms and whams they have.
Yeah.
And just buy them all. You need some common sense first. Go out there, learn a little bit more, but the technique itself, it differs between clients and businesses and historical locations. There's red tape there. There's so many different liability risk with this. It's not just going around running around with a flashlight trying to find a ghost.
Right.
Yeah.
It's pretty serious. It's pretty serious.
Yeah. And that like there's no frills with Dave. I mean, the vehicle that they use in the show is what, a 1980s motorhome or something. It's really cool to see that. It's like he just gets the job done.
Yeah, there's nothing fluffed.
Yeah.
There's no powder puff. There's no buy this now. There's nothing like that.
Right.
And I wish more programs were like that, because it would help so many people. Because that's a lot of what they go to is television. They think because it's on television, it must be true. It must be real.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I kind of spent my maybe late 20s, early 30s watching a ghost show, and all it ever was this main character taunting and calling ghost names, and it's just like, is that what this is all about?
Yeah. Not at all.
Not at all.
That's what, I think that's what turned me off, because that's probably the same show that I watch.
Yeah.
What I recommend to people, if they want to watch something to see if this is right for them, Mike Ricksecker has a show. It's free of charge. It's on a platform called Tubi.
Oh.
And it's called The Shadow Dimension. It's a 6-part series. Watch that. And if you're still interested after that, then you may be in the right place. If not, please run.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. So, as we're kind of talking here, and with your path and your career and your involvement and all of that, are there any techniques that you came up with that's kind of your kind of signature kind of thing that you do? Or
years ago, I coined the spirit vocal print years ago, finding that in the spectral view of Adobe Audition. The regular human voice will have fossil looking type vibrations from the vibration, and EVP capture will either be a solid black, or it'll have a solid white, or it'll be solid. There's no vibrations in the voice. It's interesting, and it's completely different when you look at them and tell them apart. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to get together and talk more about that.
Oh, sure.
I had somebody reached out to me. When was it? Oh, 2:00 this morning. Okay, never mind. But and said, when are you going to start doing investigations around here? And I'm like, when I have somebody train me how to do it, because it's nothing. I mean, I can do the mediumship part of it probably, and I can set with it and stuff.
You would make a great investigator. Both of you would. You have the mentalities for it.
Oh boy.
Oh Lord.
We kind of do it. We kind of do it at home.
Yeah. Well, at home. Yeah.
But
one of the interesting things that I see people on shows doing is where they have one person sitting off to the side or another room with a headset on.
The Estes method.
And then someone else in another room asking a question and listening for what they have to say. Now, what I do is whenever a fan is on or any white noise, I do hear it talking to me. I get full conversations out of white noise that's around me. Is that the same kind of concept as with someone wearing the earphones?
Similar. The Estes method is basically designed to almost channel. It's almost a form of channeling. You're listening so intently that you're hearing every little word that's coming through after the question, and nothing else. You can hear nothing else around you, and all noise is canceled out. So it's almost a form of channeling, really.
Okay.
And then there's someone else in the other room, of course, doing their part, asking the questions. It's an interesting method, and I've been wanting to get out and try it more and experiment with it more. I think it's effective. I'm becoming more aware. It's called the SB7, they call it. It's a ghost box. It's a radio. It scans frequencies. I'm working with those more because I had a little incident with one of those, and it just didn't make sense to me. I could not, because there's no way, having a background in broadcasting, there's no way a DJ would say that.
Yeah. Right.
Just that would be said. So I'm leaning more toward that and discovering that there's all different kinds of ways now that they're communicating with lights. Now they have all laser grids. They have. Yeah, I retired from the field just for a little while. And this was back when they were still using analog recorders and digital recorders. Now digital recorders, people are going, what's that?
Yep.
What's that?
I have the little balls that, so if they move it, it starts flashing.
Yes.
So they put it on the floor. I bought those in, where did I buy? Oh, Iowa. I bought those from Kelly and her fiance down in Iowa. They do investigating down there. But I know I have the voice recorder still in the box, so I have some tools.
Got some tools. We can talk, Terry.
Yeah, it's starting.
So the last question I have an app on my phone. It's called Ghost, and I paid like 99 cents for $1.99, whatever it was. And how accurate are the apps on the phones compared to the other tools that you guys use?
Oh boy. I'll tell you one thing with the apps. They are few and far between. Some of them, they have an SLS camera app. It's makes them look like a skeleton, basically. They have different vocal apps, different EVP apps. Be careful, read into them. A lot of them say for entertainment purposes only. I've seen some of those apps where they even put upload things into the app, install things into the app to make it appear as if you're looking through their night vision, which if you see that, your phone is not capable of that, for one thing. So it's something they're making up and putting in there. Just be wary of them.
Barnaby has this. He showed me his phone. Have you seen Barnaby's phone?
Barnaby's got like the phone of phones. It's like and
it's designed for what he does.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's not like you go to Verizon and get this phone. You have to go to this certain website and all this stuff. And I think his plan is through Verizon or whatever, but it's like $800, $1,000 for this phone, but it does paranormal stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's got the FLIR. It's got everything in it. It's got the FLIR camera. There are phones that are capable of doing that. A phone such as that. I think Caterpillar makes it.
So, So, as we're talking through this and stuff, I have this little app on my phone. We both do, actually. It's called the I Am app. And we're talking about me and you getting together. And the thing that pops up, it says, I am grateful for the amazing opportunities coming my way in the near future. So there you are.
So last question from our audience member for you, from Lee. How accurate do you think Alexa is?
You know what? I can't honestly say. I think they're all fun. I think the apps are fun. I think, are they scientifically accurate? Who knows? Mm-hmm. Who knows? She may, and I can't say it. She's right there. Right. Everybody has one.
Yeah.
But she may sense something we don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't.
That's why we renamed our Ziggy. So
we can say the name. And,
So.
And it doesn't answer. All right. Well, we're at the bottom of the hour. Thank you, Todd, for talking about the paranormal with us. I really appreciate that. And hopefully Sloan will enjoy the free gift from today. Next up, we have Patty Q joining us in the studio, and Terry is leaving for...
I'm heading for Rice Lake, so I'm going to step out when Patty comes in and get ready for the grand opening and our new remote location.
All right. So see you back in a couple of minutes. Thanks.
Safe travels, Terry.
Thank you.
Yeah, see you later.
Download the new station calendar and never miss another show. To get it is simple and free. Just visit WLTK-DB.com to download or tap the subscribe button on our mobile app. Once the file is in your downloads folder, just double-click it, authorize it to your calendar, and boom, you have every show listed. Not only does it list the shows, but also the links to watch them live. We would like to thank Danny Loosemore for developing this for us and hope you enjoy it as much as we do. Get yours now at WLTK-DB.com or just click subscribe on our mobile app. See you at the shows. Put the power of this station in the palm of your hand and download our mobile app. Visit the App Store, Google Play, and search for WLTK-DB Talk Radio and download the app for free. Listen to past shows, download our station calendar right to yours, and even shop the WLTK-DB Talk Radio mobile app. Now available on the App Store and Google Play. Download yours now.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to Soul and Synergy Radio. And Terry has miraculously converted himself into Patty Q.
It's magic.
It's magic. It's definitely magic. Actually, I think I'll lower my chair so we look like we're even heights here in order to make that work a little bit better.
There you go.
All right. So my question for you today, while the audience prepares their questions for Patty. Any type of question goes. So feel free to enter it into the comments section. What is Spirit saying about next week?
There is a word I've been receiving for like 2 days. And when you want to write it down or you want to sit with it and see what it means, you don't really realize the function of that word until you're involved in what it's for. So the word I've been getting is receiving. And everybody has the ability to receive message, visions, or complicated conversations, or a lift of the heart to make you happier. But it's going beyond that now. So people who are wanting more information, they're getting it. And every week when I think about what's important to say out loud now, it's receiving. How you stand with it, how you hear it, how you acknowledge it. And it's important to realize that you're receiving information to live this life well. So everything that you experience is to gain authority in this life to want more. So Spirit is constantly giving me what people are hearing, seeing, feeling. And receiving is the word.
Wow.
It's kind of a big deal.
So open yourself up to receiving?
Yes, but do it thoughtfully. Don't put so much emotion into it. Just allow it to flow. And I talked last week about the fluidity of it's a method of healing. When you sit with method of healing with a word like receive, you have the authority to want to know how it feels. They put you in that place to say, okay, I want more. And it's important, whether you're psychic or not, or less than normal, it's for everyday living.
Yeah. Wow. Well, one of the things I hear or have been hearing for a couple months now, it first started off as, for the last couple of years, hearing Spirit say, is that your angle? Is that an angle? And for the past month or so, they've changed it to, is that your new method? Is that your new method? And it always happens around when I'm trying to clear my thoughts, trying to have a calm, quiet space in my mind to push out the extraneous thoughts coming through. And is that your method? Is that how you do it? Kind of a thing. And when they get repetitive with me, I get a little pissy because it's like, I'm trying to not hear you. I'm trying to reclaim my mind so I don't hear you talking to me. But the more I do it, the louder they get.
When you're pushed to an extreme on one thing, so say they said that over and over and over again, and you're right, you're just going to say, well, shut up. I can't handle that anymore. They push you. The act of them pushing you to your extreme is a method. It's meant for your wellness. If you take that act and you finished it off, or so you feel, the beings that want your wellness, they take that act of reaching that exhaustive thing in your head and they twist it for positive alignment. And to say that you worked for that is like huge, because when you are standing at that and looking at how long it took in your life, what you had to go through to maintain that in your life, is kind of releasing. I'm always mad that it took so long for me to understand like this much of a sentence. Has to articulate your next level. You have to be pushed to your extreme to then experience what's next. It never stops. It pushes and pushes. But if you're in the business or in the alignment of receiving more than one message, they have to train your brain to articulate every message. Well, how do you do that? Do you naturally do that? No. So when brains come into the picture in terms of receiving information as a wellness piece, you have come a long way in that life to receive it as it is given. A long way.
It's just, I've been learning so much, and I should have put pen to paper a long time ago as things were coming through and different learnings were happening. But I do hear them in complete sentences. It is a conversation, like it's coming from something intellectual. And what I have been learning is they'll say to me, like a new voice that I haven't heard before will say, "You're thinking you shouldn't do that." And then I'm like, I hear you doing that to me. And they're like, "You can hear us?" And it's just like, it's like I catch them, and that just tells me that spirit puts thoughts in our minds.
Oh, absolutely.
And has a way, and they call it pushing. And they push a thought into your mind, and you have no idea that it's not your thought. Where I'm so neurotic and OCD that over the last 6 years, I've figured out what my thoughts are and what are not my thoughts. And it surprises whatever's out there, whatever new thing touches me when it's trying to get me to think something. I'm like, I heard you try to do that.
When you gain control over all of that, you stand firmer in who you are.
Oh, yeah.
And you are. But then you realize through a different kind of angle of the day, a different conversation you're having with someone, how much you've grown in this life to achieve those messages in the right and proper way. There's a natural order for everything. If you didn't have a structure set up for you, Danny, to understand what it all meant, you would probably go crazy, really, literally. Structure is in those that want to receive and administer, and that structure gives message on everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
And for the audience members that I know, like Steph here, Spirit, and all of that, but for the audience members who don't think they do, if you're singing a song in your head and some of the words change and you have no idea why those words changed in your mind, it went to something weird or something else, that you didn't do that. They're injecting those words in to make you think about something. Yeah. And they kind of take you when you're off guard, when you're relaxed, when your ego isn't in control, when you're not performing a task or something like that. And just be mindful of the thoughts that come into your mind, because something's talking to you and you don't know it. If you start having these conversations with imaginary people in your head, it seems like it's having an intelligent thought.
And also never forget that the purpose of all these levels and layers to be a part of isn't really for us as much as it is to brighten and lighten our life. Sure. But the ultimate conversation that you have is through an angelic being who can stand with you for a small extended period of time without making you hurt. So there's an ultimate function for everything that you do, so that your angelic being can ask for other angel to provide you with a colorful system and method.
Very colorful.
And that system and method is very healing to you, to Terry, to everybody in your life. When you speak with angelic being, you've made it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing after that in terms of an angelic conversation.
Right. And Robin asks, what if those words don't make any sense to you? What I will tell you from my experience, Patty may have a different experience, but from mine, when they say words and whatnot, I'll share that in a second, Mary. When they say like just a fragment of a phrase or just one word, what they're trying to do is make you think, but what they're doing is trying to make you think of what that word means to you. So when they say that word, that is the meaning that you associate it with. And sometimes it's for healing. Sometimes it's for you to think of that word and what it brings up in your shadow for you to work on and all of that. But just as an aside, when they do that with me and I say to them, I'm done. I'm not worrying about it. I don't care what that means anymore. I'm just moving on. It pisses them off. I've had moments where I'm getting ready to go to sleep and the fan is going, and then they'll say, this is what we meant when we said those words, and then they'll talk like regular people, and I'm like, you don't have to be so mystical, just tell me exactly what you're thinking. I know what your game is. There's no mystery anymore. But for you might want to think, what do those words mean to you as a person?
And for clarity purposes, they push you in order to feel that same conversation, but in color.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not having words, you're having a feeling, you're having a vision,
mm-hmm.
or you're having an all-on sensory thing.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, to be efficient, if that's your goal, it's to then use water method, color method, a fluidity of motion, so that we're not having a word-on-word conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for mediumship purposes, what I've learned is like when they push a word to you or give a word to your mind, and your mind comes up with a vision in your imagination, what that means.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing mediumship or something for someone and they do that to you, that is for that person you're reading for. That whatever emotion you're feeling, that message is for that person, not for you.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't necessarily making fun of you for doing something in your mind. It's saying, whatever you're feeling about this right now, that's what that person needs to know.
And when you understand that it's not yours,
mm-hmm.
that takes a lot to understand that.
And a lot of weight off your shoulders.
Yes.
Like this isn't persecution.
Exactly. But here's the thing and especially with Danny, and anybody who knows Danny well, you're very visual, and you love challenge.
Unfortunately.
And in a psychic, a reading is a challenge,
mm-hmm.
but to allow yourself the space to be able to speak through an entity for someone's
mm-hmm.
wellness is really the ultimate challenge. That's the ultimate goal. That's
mm-hmm.
why you're in this constant word on word or feeling or movement, is because when you do tarot readings, they're pushing you to do bigger
mm-hmm.
or more information.
Right.
So it's never letting you go. They will not let you go.
Yeah.
Because when you work so hard and you're part of something for so long, that matters.
Mm-hmm.
And you're sitting here explaining how the process went for you. Is that the same for everybody?
No.
Well, no.
No.
But in a method, yes, that's how it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just so funny because when they try to, when a new one comes through
mm-hmm.
and it tries to be this kind of creepy kind of, how do I want to say it? Like mystical, kind of like an oracle giving you just words or whatever, and I call it out on its crap, it then just starts talking in a sentence at me. It's just like, and they call me an expert.
Well,
it's just like, that's an expert.
mm-hmm. But it's important to realize why. So when you're with someone, if you are psychically open to helping someone, if you're with a being, you have to know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
You have to hear what they say.
Mm-hmm.
Is that person living with a ghost, a spiritual being that only wants the best?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a deeper conversation with outer limits or outer layers?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a leveling that comes only in your sleep?
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand everything to help someone.
Mm-hmm.
And an example, I did a reading this week, and the person that I was reading had this being with, and it didn't belong to her, and it was cursing at her all the time. And so she started to buy into what it was saying.
Right.
And so when you eliminate that level of heavy, oh my gosh,
mm-hmm.
and then the protective then element of that healing is the promise that the rest of this life will be
mm-hmm.
yours.
Yeah.
And it's important to understand that spiritually, to me, it's a beautiful word, but there are levels of beings that are not there for your wellness.
No, they're not.
And so So, but if you open yourself up, you have to open yourself up to what is right for you at that moment in your life.
Yeah. And Steph can even attest to Chat with Charlie, where she gets messages from both sides of the coin.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I do. I know you do.
Yeah.
You know, it isn't all love and light and
No.
fairies and unicorns.
Right.
There's some that come in and try to convince you of something that is just so outlandish, and to make you paranoid, to make you sad or something like that. But when you've been doing this for so long and you're like, no, sorry.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's just like, oh.
That's that protective measure that allows you to be free with what that conversation is truly about. It covers your soul to protect yourself. That's something that will never leave.
Mm-hmm.
You've earned that right to be in any conversation with any alive person and those who have passed, any being out there. That protection allows you to understand only for wellness purposes. It's not about ego. It's not about outdoing someone. This is a conversation you have with the universe every day. What's proper? This is proper. And this is right. It's natural order. It's how we're built. You know, we don't do it with an agenda. We don't, if you go into anything learning what conversation is about with ego or your own agenda, you're going to be knocked back millions of conversations ago. They're going to say, sorry.
Yeah.
Because you got to learn.
So you hear spirit all day long.
I do.
So how do you manage when, I know for me, some talk over each other, so it's hard to understand what's being said. But how do you manage when they start getting nasty or it sounds like they're speaking out of both sides of their mouth? You know, how do you handle that?
And that's a very good question. You do it with your own structure, your own courage. I no longer say to them they have to leave, but when years and years ago I did. But now I say, if you want to extend your own wellness as a spiritual dweller, stay, you'll learn. And that's where I am now. So I never say no anymore.
Yeah.
But you have to earn that. You got to know what it is you're with. And my name, Patty Q, is out there as in your name, Danny, and not our faces, not our names, but our etheric world,
our vibration
is identified as who we are. So it's not like dialing up the phone. They know exactly where we are. They know who we're with. They know why. So they are also our protective levels too.
Yeah, they can tune into your energy like you can dial a phone.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And they bring wellness though. So if you're like in a funk and like this happened to me the other day, I was in a funk. I didn't know why. And I was with a being that was pushing his being into my world without asking.
Yeah.
But he is very angry with me. So I had to slow it down. I had to understand why. And I found out why he was angry because I didn't include the person I was reading in his world. I didn't ask him to be a part of it. And he was mad.
Oh. Yeah. And I can tell when I have a thought pattern going through my mind that may not be so positive. I can actually sit back and go, I can separate that from my own psyche and go, that doesn't belong to me.
Right.
You know, I know what thoughts belong to me, but I know when it's been pushed in my head to see whether or not I will acknowledge it as my own or give it back.
Right.
You know, and it's quite the journey to do that. And it's hard for people, especially people who are gifted and don't know that they're gifted, when they're going through their daily life and the negative side of the coin can see their energy and know that they can hear.
Yeah.
And they take advantage of it.
And those are readings that are really in my wheelhouse because I take that person's structure and I give back through my angelic team, of course, what's proper, what's right for that person, because they literally can see dead people, they can hear dead people, and they're not nice. So yeah, the happiness level to these people are like crashing. So you go in, you do a clean sweep, and Angel heals it fast so that person can breathe. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds simple, but it really matters.
But what used to get me so angry is that I would constantly say, why is my guardian angels, or whatever you want to call them, my team, not stopping that negative being from talking to me? And I think it's to build courage. It's to build kind of stamina, maybe. Authority, you know, that kind of a thing. And I do know when it gets too far, I've heard them say enough.
Yeah.
And then it's done.
Yeah. So now Danny's at a place of where he's building his team. So you're building your world in the receiving, that word again, to better articulate what is going on in this world. Because when you receive and you accept and align with this proper order, that means then you can portray a message with ease, with grace, with integrity, because you receive it in all levels of crap, but you have to then bring that message to the highest, the purity of who we are as people, and then deliver it with a healing message. And that's what that is. You are building your team every time you make a spiritual entity stop and they just are with.
Yeah.
And that's how you build your team. So that when you are faced with this maybe sort of function with someone else, you clearly know what you're talking about because, oh, by the way, I accomplished that leveling.
Yeah.
I made it through that.
Yeah.
But it never stops. So even though you graduate with a boatload of spiritual people who are there for your extension of ability, there's so much more to learn.
Yeah.
So you never ever take it for granted because you can't. Because they're going to pull the rug right out from under you if you believe for 1 minute that, yeah, I'm all that.
Oh, as soon as you go that route,
when you do that,
they tear you right back down again.
And then they'll say, "Excuse me."
Yeah. And they know how to tear you down because they know what buttons to press to get you
Absolutely.
there. Well, we have a couple minutes here, and Kevin is asking a question. If you can answer in about a minute. I have worked behind the scene of my path for years. I've had mixed messages lately. Is Spirit wanting me to keep doing this or to become more public?
Yes and yes. It's kind of the same mix of words, because the ultimate length of study has to be given to public in order to help. If you're doing it for your self-absorption, then I would say, yeah, you're doing great. Have a happy life because you're doing well. But there comes this trigger within that ability to say, okay, I can really do this for real. I can really help this person. And it's a struggle, but there's rewards in every level you exceed at, every level. And it's like a badge of honor that is in color, so that the higher you go, those colors describe you in the spirit world. So spirit knows you are ready for a bigger day of download.
Right.
So yes, and keep going, Kevin, because Kevin, the words that speak are important for you to understand for your own reasons, but for family members, for friends, and that's where you should go.
And Spirit likes to do twofers. Where they give a message and then you can internalize the message just as much as what the other person does.
Absolutely. You're right, a twofer. And also realize that every time message is received by you, it's a million messages.
It is.
It is a million. It's not this much.
Yeah. I remember when we first got to or met and all of that, and you were helping me out. And you talked about the millions that you have.
The millions.
You know, I sense that now.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
It's like a crowd of people talking all at the same time, and it's until you learn how to tune into an individual frequency to get just a clear message.
And they're all there for the same reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's like-minded, really. It's you're being matched. Every breath we take, we're being matched with a higher spiritual being to help us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's never ending, it seems.
Oh no, it never ends. And that's okay. Because we're never really going to die, right?
Right. That's what I say.
Oh, and we've met before in past lives. So I'm just saying, usually the people you glom to, you have done it before. So,
yeah, it's when you meet someone and it's like you know them.
Yeah, exactly.
And, well, it's kind of like Sheree and Adam. You know, it's like you know each other for forever, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are at the top of the hour here. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us at Soul and Synergy Radio. Thanks for coming down, Patty.
Oh, you're welcome.
To be a part of the last half of last quarter of the show, I should say. If you're in the Minnesota area in the next couple of months, we'll have some shows there. Make sure to go to soulandsynergyec.com or metaparapro.com to see our upcoming events and kind of where we'll be. Otherwise, come visit us at the store or online. And thank you, everyone, for joining us, and have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.